So, Victor, have you ever had a hero you looked up to?
Oh, I have so many different heroes, Superman, Batman, Iron Man. They're always just a dream heroes. I just want to explore the world and just maybe even have a little journey with them. And sometimes, who knows, maybe get a little snack along the way. But I don't know. Marcel Hernandez's number one fan. Not. What do you think?
Um, I have a number of people that I look up to. There's theme park enthusiasts I look up to. Stu from SNL, like he knew a lot of stuff about SNL. The I feel like an idiot now. Who was the guy that did one SNL a day?
Stooge.
Oh,
Oh,
Stooge.
wow.
Okay, yeah, that was yeah. I and the peop and well, only when he agrees with me. Blood's SNL reviews, I'm also a fan of. Cast members, people that I really liked: Dana Carvey, Jimmy Fallon. That might be a controversial opinion. Um, I liked Chloe Fineman, even though she kind of went a little down in her later years. But I think that was more of other cast members getting more and more screen time and spotlights, and she was kind of just left with just reaction bits. Even though I would even argue, and I'm probably the only one that thinks this way, the Alex bit that she did with Veronica Slowakowska. I apologize. I thought that was pretty fun. It kind of reminded me of some of the sketches she did with Sydney Sweeney. Um, but yeah, I'm also into theme park people. Like, can I mention another podcast?
Sure.
Yes, yes.
Okay, the In the Loop podcast, not the ice skating one, the one that deals with theme parks. Like Drew the intern, I've met him a few times. He's really cool. Um, there's a guy who's the water parks correspondent who, I apologize if this is offensive. I gave him the nickname the Water Park Messiah, and he's okay with that.
Mhm.
YouTube wise, although I do review movies, I was never big into nostalgia critic. I'm more into like Brad Jones stuff, like Cinema Snob. I find his reviews more entertaining, and his style kind of influenced my opinion.
I
That's right.
noticed neither of you said the Blue Falcon some reason.
Gosh darn it.
All right, let's start the
Well,
show.
well,
Wait, we'll get to it at
wait.
the end.
Are you talking about Blue Falcon? Are you talking about Blue Falcon, or are you talking about his son Brian Falcon?
Okay, let's start the show. We'll get into
Which
that.
one are you talking about?
Blue Falcon.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, let's start the show.
So what? What if the show gets canceled and you guys never get to do movies or anything like that?
Say that. Yes, bitch, there she is.
They should let children out of school to see this movie. They should show it in school.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
I disagree.
I am Iron Man.
There's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
You're gonna have to rock a thong with this. Oh, no, I don't wear thongs. I have a very fussy taint.
Oh, behave.
Welcome back to Not Ready for Popcorn Players podcast, the number one podcast where bowling pins turn into evil robots and try to kill you. My name is Johnny Watson.
Oh, you're not going to mention the Minion knockoffs?
Wait,
And I'm Victor. And I'm Victor Higgins, and I've been a very good boy. And even though it's not Christmas yet, Johnny says after this I can get some nice Scooby snacks. Great to be here.
We would hope so, and hopefully you're not the only one, because today we have a guest. Joining us is give him the intro, Victor.
And yeah,
It's like
joining us
Google
today
Doc.
is one of my dear good friends. Is my friend. You call him a lot of different names. You call him Justin Coasters, Roller Coaster Rider. But as you see here, his name is Justin Ann, and I want to welcome him. Justin, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Oh, my last name is actually pronounced on, like O-N.
On. Okay, gotcha,
It's
gotcha.
okay.
Yes, and yeah, and thank you so much for joining us. Before we officially dive into this very intriguing movie, why don't you tell the folks of how you got into SNL? You know, all that fun stuff.
How I got into SNL, okay, I might be a little younger, I might be a little older than some of you, so, I had the TV guide when it was, like, printed out in, like, paper stuff.
Like the magazine one?
Um,
Like the
might have
handheld
been
magazine, it's a little smaller.
it might have been after the magazine one. It was, like, the bigger version, I think.
Okay.
Where they said, like, hey, what's new this week, what you should watch, when they listed what was a rerun. And I had seen, I think it was probably on Comedy Central around that time, where I saw, like, it said, like, SNL, and then it said host, I don't know, Eddie Murphy. And then it said host Billy Crystal. And then it said host, I don't know, Nicolas Cage. And I was like, this show is weird. Why can't they ever get one permanent host? They can't have anyone that sticks to the job?
Wow. Okay.
Or maybe I thought that, okay, so
you thought it was like a late night show, and it's like, I can't believe they had Seth Meyers leave after 1 week. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I started watching some reruns on Comedy Central. I remember the Matthew Perry rerun episode.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
There was also another. I mainly remember that one from the Go Lords cartoons, or Claymation, or whatever those were.
Go Lords, go Lords, go.
I wasn't a big fan of those, but I'm the one that hates everything about SNL, apparently. Anyway, so
that's Andrew Dick, not you.
Right. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm AD Junior, I guess. So then I would watch, when those reruns left Comedy Central, then I would watch them on E. And to show you how much of a newbie I was, I didn't know David Spade or Adam Sandler were cast members.
Oh wow!
I found that out during a recording of the Christina Ricci episode from, like, season 25. And that was probably a year or so after I had started watching the show regularly. The first episode I believe that I saw was the Justin Timberlake episode from season 29.
Okay, I see you. Of course, you would start with one with a Justin.
Yes. Well, I think the reason why is because it was either my mom or my sister was like, "Hey, Justin Timberlake is on the show called Saturday Night Live. We should watch it." And I'm like, "Okay." So I watched every episode of season 29. I think I might have missed some episodes in seasons 30 and 31. I know I missed the Antonio Banderas episode. I might have also missed the Johnny Knoxville episode. But I've been trying to watch every single episode when it was live. I know some people, they watch, like, either Hulu repeats, or they watch, like, just several of the sketches on YouTube, which to me is not I don't know if that's the best way to tell if a host is great or not. And normally, there's always exceptions, but most of the time I feel like whenever I like the episode, it has terrible ratings. And whenever the episode is terrible, it has, like, the best ratings of the year.
Mm.
Hey.
Interesting.
So you would say you're more of the niche fan, I guess.
I don't even know if I'm a niche fan. It's just like, if a sketch is just like, well, I think everyone has cast members that they really dislike with a passion.
Yeah.
And then there's some where they're like, I don't see why you don't like this cast member. This cast member to me is hilarious.
Right.
Like, I was never a Wig fan. But I will say there were maybe, a sketch where she's the star. There was one sketch, I think, in her 7 years that I really enjoyed, and it was the it was when Katy Perry was the host, and it was like, I think she was like Swedish or something. It was like the Kali talk show, where every time Katy Perry spoke, Kristen Wiig would say, "We have a clip," and it was that. That to me was funny because it wasn't just because Wiig was in a costume or saying something weird in a weird voice. It was like, okay, that was a setup, and then there were actual punchlines with it.
Right.
Meanwhile, there's like some of our other ones, like, what's her name? Shauna or Shauna? That cute
Shanna?
girl.
Like,
The cute girl, but she would always like do things in a very unenjoyable way. Or do I even need to say Gilly?
You can.
As we discussed last episode, Gilly could be polarizing.
Yeah.
I never liked her from day one, but then again, the Rosario Dawson episode, it wasn't a great episode in my opinion, so maybe that was it, but other episodes, and then when I heard that she was leading a Christmas special, I'm like, really? Is this to make people hate Christmas? Like, because that would be the ultimate war on Christmas, in my opinion. Like, you take this, like, kind of a pointless character, really. All she really is just like some student that is rude, and then you give her like a fro for some reason. Then you make her have like buck teeth, and then she keeps saying over and over again, "Sorry," and it's like, okay, is she trying to do a Tweety Bird impression or something? Like, so yeah, so I've seen almost every episode live or recorded when I used to record them on VHS or DVDs. But nowadays, I just stay up.
Yeah.
All right, good to know. Good to know.
And I want to say like how I first got to know you is during very, I want to say short-lived but forgotten, not really SNL, but like to kind of talk about all different types of shows called
The AfterBuzz.
Yep. Yeah, I believe the two of us met during their Scarlett Johansson Now Horn episode, and we got to know each other. We became very great buds. Got to talk on Twitter and now on Discord and now on Messenger and just a bunch of great stuff. And I know you even saying you kind of like nervous being on because like I feel like such a cranky guy, but I am so glad that you're with us because I feel like you're the perfect guest for any SNL podcast because we don't always have to like every single cast member or character, and and I'm glad you're here because you could give us like different opinions about this, and I feel like that's a great way of talking about SNL. Even with this very podcast, because I believe when the two of us did the Boomerang or the Eddie Murphy movie Boomerang, I didn't really like that movie, but Johnny did. And
I haven't seen that movie yet. I probably will. Not this year and not next year, but maybe in 28, maybe.
Yeah, and I believe
I also review movies. Some of them have terrible audio, and that's only because of recording or the stars weren't aligned or something. And I'm trying to. I missed several months for personal reasons. I'll talk about that I'll talk about that next year. But I kind of got lazy a little bit. So if you watch my YouTube channel, there's been I posted 3 episodes today alone when they were all supposed to air in June.
Yeah, and again, Boomerang was a movie that I didn't really love, and Johnny did. And funny enough, the very next episode where we did a Stranger Than Fiction, and I'm glad you said that you actually liked that movie because so did I. But Johnny had some critiques about it, and that's what's fun about SNL. We always have to feel the same way. Because I personally think, and I'm curious if you feel the same way, Johnny, that if we always felt the same way about something, it would kind of make a boring conversation. But kind of agreeing or disagreeing makes it fun, conversation. And so talking about this movie, starring the one and only Will Forte.
What's the name of this movie, Victor?
Oh, yeah, it's called Scoob. Yes, Scoob. Yes, starring Will Forte.
They couldn't even get the title right.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, real quick, because what we like to do here is you're talking about our main SNL lead of, Will Forte, on for 8 seasons from season 28 to season 35, known for a very absurd comedy involving, gore, blood, a whole bunch of things that, we're now, at least formerly, used to seeing Sarah do, and I'll throw it over to you, Justin.
Weird at times.
Yes, and I'll throw it over to you, Justin. What is your opinion about Will Forte's run as a cast member?
I think 29, 30, maybe even 31, 32, 33, maybe. For his first couple of years, he was kind of like, I might put him in like a Chris Parnell thing for me, where I didn't hate him, but I didn't he I didn't have stars in my eyes every time he spoke or appeared.
Mm-hmm.
I think the turning point for me, even though in my opinion the MacGrubers, they kind of did a few too many of them, even though I do love the Betty White ones.
Those are a good one. Mm-hmm.
Why did I even have to say that? That's a default. Everyone loves Betty White.
Yeah.
But season, I think it was 34. Yeah, it was 34. I think the John Hamm episode, when he introduced a character named Jeff Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's when he kind of got into my, okay, now I don't like you, because it felt like a forced, like, come on, Will Forte, you need a new character. We're not doing the Falconer anymore. You got to do something else. And Fred Armisen is doing enough inappropriate stuff on Update. You can't do the singing duo together again, so you got to do something on your own. So he came up with this character where it's like, we're supposed to be laughing. Are we supposed to be laughing at this character or with this character? Because, I don't know if it's a sketch you could do nowadays.
Definitely not.
I don't even know if it was a sketch you should have done back then.
I think maybe for that context of that particular sketch, I think it's just the joke of, oh, but why is this guy casually admitting to someone on Halloween of all things he's a sexual offender, he's a sex predator, and that's probably why I think that's the joke of that. But do you have any more?
I just didn't like the character's delivery. Where it's like, I'm a turkey. What? You're a turkey. What? No, you're a jerk. What?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, you're just. And then he says, "Can I have some candy?" And it's, I don't know. It's just kind of a weird sketch that I never saw the appeal. And then they did it a few times. But then again, we'd be billionaires if we got a penny every time SNL turned a one-off into a recurring sketch that didn't need to be.
Yes, we all be Elon Musk. Let's say it like that. But yeah, I'll assume, Johnny, you feel differently. So why don't you tell the folks how you feel about Will Forte?
Will Forte was a big one for my baby SNL years. Obviously, he had a lot of wacky stuff. Some stuff that might have been a little edgy, but I don't think it was ever like in a harmful enough way to say. I
could name one.
I think we could say that he always pushed it to the limit sometimes, but sometimes in just a really stupid way, and I kind of like that sometimes, because I think one of, and you could say this about a few cast members, it doesn't require a lot of like thinking when you see some of Will Forte's sketches, and I think that's very fun for me.
Yeah, I'm with you, Johnny. I absolutely love Will Forte. I really like his sensibility, and I feel one of the main reasons why people love him is because he's such a different cast member. He's not like a basic cast member, and I feel like as the more I get older and watching SNL, that's one of my favorite things that I personally enjoy with SNL, like seeing different people of like unique comedies, sensibilities come onto the show and produce like amazing different sketches. And I feel, whether you like someone or not, I feel like if they produce some new form of comedy onto sketches, that makes them such a unique cast member. I feel it's not the same thing with, as I mentioned, like Marcelo Hernandez, because I'm with you, Justin. I'm not too like thrilled about Marcelo either, but am I happy he's on the show? Absolutely, because he's presenting Latino representation on SNL and the Gen Z crowd too, which I know SNL for forever at this point has been trying to appeal, as well as I know, as I mentioned, Sarah Sherman, another cast member you're not too fond of. I am glad that she came on the show, because she also provided that different, unique style of comedy, which created more different ideas. And I feel that's another reason why we say, oh, we need like this type of like cast member on the show, like a black one right now, because they would provide new forms of comedy onto SNL. And I feel, Will Forte, Sarah Sherman, Marcel Hernandez, as well as probably a bunch of other SNL cast members that weren't like your average Joes, are such unique people on SNL.
I'd say that they're kind of
Oh,
from,
sorry.
I guess you would say, I feel like personally from the way that I've worked in it, there are different like houses of comedy. There's like stand up, and then there's edgy stand up, and there's progressive, then there's aggressive. I feel
And then
like Will Forte
absurd.
was from a specific thing that not everyone is usually from.
The thing that I find kind of weird about SNL is that they hired these people that are like quote unquote out of the box style, like they're not the norm, like crazy people, like, or okay, absurdist people, I'll say, like people like Will Forte, and I'd even maybe argue Fred Armisen, maybe.
I say so. Yep.
Yeah.
Marcello and Sarah Sherman, they hired these like out of the box people, but then as once they're kind of on SNL, they like have to be conformed into like a part. So it's like,
Yeah.
why are you even hiring like out of the box comedians if you're going to just limit them?
Yeah, and I do absolutely agree with you on there, because I feel that's another reason why I'm personally, I still love Sarah, but I'm sort of like, oh, I really miss the Sarah Squirm, because like it provided again a new form of comedy. And even though, and I remember, I think me and Johnny one time talked about this, I felt like, oh, that's because she's now in the SNL mold, and I know, like, again, when you're in the SNL mold, you kind of become just a specific cast member, and not like a new branch, and it becomes a little like sad, especially since I know Amy Poehler, when she joined SNL, she had a very unique style of comedy when she came to UCB. But yeah, when she was on SNL, she kind of just became like a normal SNL cast member. And that is always the bad part of when any sort of new form of comedy.
But she also did some absurdist bits, like she did Amber, and
yeah,
there's one wig sketch that I do like, even though she's kind of the punchline, not the star. It was, I think, season 36 when Amy Poehler hosted, and it was all about, like, trying to have the world's smallest hat.
I remember that one. Mm-hmm.
And everyone was kind of dogpiling on Wig, and it's like, thank you, finally, Wig is not viewed as, the second coming. She gets to be like the punchline as opposed to the star of a sketch.
Yeah, and I do want to clarify, me and Johnny are not mad at all that you don't like Will Forte. That's totally, you're right. As we always say, comedy is subjective, and that's the beauty of SNL. And so if you don't like him, that's perfectly okay. And so again, we're talking about.
I didn't mind his Bush Jr., so I'll leave it at a good point. I didn't mind his Bush Jr. I also didn't mind Parnell's Bush. I don't remember enough of Daryl Hammond's Bush, but it kind of sounded like he was doing like a lighter Clinton.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even
that
though
was very weird.
One impression, so.
But yeah, and
I think you want. If I were to guess, you probably want old Squirm back, just because you're tired of seeing her interact with Colin, and Colin have to say, "Oh yeah, I'm bricked up."
Yeah. I thought that's such a common thing at this point, where people are just like, oh, here we go again. Just like, oh, look at Colin saying something racist or anything like that. And
less racist, but more like something like, oh, I need to buy a fifth yacht.
Yeah.
And did you ever, and the one thing, the SNL Understudy Part 2, where she did impressions of newer cast members, which SNL, you should have kept that. Should have taken out that talking to a car mechanic sketch and aired that instead, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, so.
But even in that, she was like, oh, if you go into Colin's dressing room, bring a gun or something. So it's like, it's like interact with Che a little bit. That's why I'm getting off on another tangent, but Heidi Gardner, she was that psychic
with Michael Che.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, if she had done that sketch with Colin, it wouldn't have been as creative or unique, in my opinion. But the fact that she was doing it with cliche where she was like saying his career was going down the toilet. He spends a lot of money on just fans.
Mm-hmm.
And his his girlfriend is going to dump him for Colin.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, at the least, mix it up. I know that Lauren thinks they make a great team up, but you don't need to team up every week or every other week.
Right. Yeah, and I just want to continue because I don't want to get too off topic here, but like, yeah, I appreciate those
Get
thoughts.
into this
is going to be your
movie.
longest episode ever.
We already had one that was last week.
That was last episode. Okay, well, let's start to get into the cast of this movie.
Oh, actually, I want to say real quick, and we'll probably have to go back, but I want to say that over. And I also want to just point out, so you chose this movie, and you're not too hard on it. Like, why did you pick this movie for our podcast? But aside from me saying,
especially if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I just wanted to kind of get wanted to get rage out. This is inside baseball, but originally I wanted to pick Space Jam: A New Legacy, which this movie has very similar issues with, in my opinion. But Sarah Silverman was only in that movie for maybe like a minute, if that. So, and Victor said, like, no, we need movies where like they're more of like a major character, or
where they're like a lead character.
So I picked Scoob because, man, this movie did so many things wrong, and I just like want to be able to vent. And I don't know if this shows how angry I am at this movie or if I'm lazy, but I saw this movie once and I still remember all of the flaws with this movie. I didn't even have to rewatch it. I still remember the flaws. I did like a near hour-long rant on it.
Wow, it's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect for us. And yeah, as Johnny mentioned, and I just want to say, we'll get into it obviously, but I feel like out of the three of us, I might be a bit more positive on it because I feel like we'll get into it obviously, but I feel like this movie's just it's fine. I feel like it's fine, but we'll definitely talk about
I think I might be able to shift your opinion.
All right, I love that. And so, actually, hold on. Do you want to do the cast because it's a big cast, or do you want to leave and come back?
Yeah, it's a pretty big cast. Obviously led by Will Forte, as we were saying.
Who does a terrible Shaggy.
An interesting situation with him, Shaggy. Surprisingly, Tracy Morgan was in this. I didn't expect that to happen.
Who sounds nothing like Captain Caveman.
It could be, there's definitely a few potential future hosts in here with the children, Ian Armitage, McKenna Grace, Ariana Greenblatt.
Are you a fan of any of them, Justin? Any of them?
What?
Are you a fan of any of them that we just mentioned? Ian, Ariana, or McKenna?
I like Tracy Morgan. I have his updated best of.
Ooh, nice.
I liked him on 30 Rock. I've listened to some of his stand-up. Post-accident, he's a little slower, but that might also be because of age.
Right. So we also have Mark Wahlberg here. Are you a fan of him, Johnny?
He's been in quite a lot of stuff. I think he's kind of unavoidable, I would say. He's just
Who
one
did Mark
of those.
Wahlberg play again?
He plays Blue Falcon.
Oh, I thought he played Luthor Jr. from Batman v Superman. Sorry.
All good, no problem. We also have Jason Isaacs in here, which I found out a couple weeks back that he did a very short-lived NBC drama called Awake, which also featured the kid from 13 Reasons Why. We also have my beloved Gina Rodriguez here as Velma, and I know you definitely want to talk about Velma, but we'll say that when we get to her. Zac Efron as Fred.
Yeah.
We have
that is very weird. It's weird.
Oh yes.
Fred. It's like
yes,
okay.
We got
Can I spoil a little bit why it's weird that he's playing Fred?
Well, when we get to the character, we'll just kind of talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
there's also someone I'm a pretty big fan of, Kiersey Clemens. Like to see her in this. I didn't expect that, but yeah.
We got Amanda Seyfried in here as well. But what did you say about Kiersey?
I'm an Amanda Seyfried fan. I like the Mamma Mia movies. That's probably controversial because of people who haven't actually seen bad movies. And she was in this movie with Liam Neeson and I think Julianne Moore called Chloe. And I don't love it just because it's named after my future wife. But also because it's kind of like a romantic stalker thriller. I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember really enjoying it.
Yes, and just to quickly wrap up, the other people we have here, we have Ken Jeong, who I'm a big fan of, voice acting legend Frank Welker, Christina Hendricks, Henry Winkler, John DiMaggio, Ira
DiMaggio's a
Glass,
big one, yeah.
Isn't Ric Flair in this?
Mark Flair.
Ric Flair?
No, Ric Flair.
No, I don't. Is it? I don't think so.
I don't see him on here.
Oh, you're forgetting the biggest star, Simon Cowell.
Oh, yep. I would say him for last. Yeah, but Simon Cowell randomly in this movie because why not? Yeah, I do appreciate how some people just
Did we
always go so big.
Gina Rodriguez?
Oh no, I mentioned her.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I said Gina Rodriguez, my beloved. You know, shout out. What was it? Jane the Virgin.
Jane the Virgin.
Yeah. So yeah, like that's our cast. A very ensembled cast for such a crazy movie that we'll get into.
Totally. All right.
Yes. So we opened up at Venice, because of course, and at first, for me, it's like, what year is this from? Because I see a boombox, and then of course we later see Shaggy with iPod and listen to a podcast. So
and he's listening to Backstreet Boys.
Yeah. Yes. And then of course we see Scoob steal some sort of meat. I forget. I don't even know what it is.
He stole a gyro, like the big meat that you're supposed to slice off of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he's really ducking out there. This is mine, and a cop catches him, and immediately they're going at it. It's scaring the entire.
No, they opened the show to California Love. I like that.
Oh, yeah, out of nowhere. Yes.
Why is the movie set in California?
I guess it's a popular place.
Yeah, it's set in Venice Beach, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Venice overall. It starts on Venice Beach.
The original show, it wasn't set anywhere. They just drove around, and in A Pup Named Scooby Doo, they set it in Coolsville. So why are you setting it in California?
I guess
I'm going to be nitpicky because there's so many things in this. Maybe if you've never seen Scooby Doo ever, in which case, thank you for no longer being Amish, I guess. Then you might like this, but if you know anything about Scooby Doo, they mess up and change so many things. But I'll get to some of it later. But it's like, why does it need to be set in California?
I think just because, again, it's a popular place to be set at, so it's like not really specific, but I get the critique that you have in. But yeah, we see a very young Shaggy, and I immediately just love the tiny Shaggy just going like slow down, dude. I thought that was very cute.
Yeah, kid voice Shaggy sounded way more like Shaggy than Will Forte does in this.
I will get to him in a quick second. Also, I just love, again, like the different songs he listened to. Really, I always listen to a podcast, and it's called Friends. Who Need Them? You Do. And he's just seeing a bunch of people with friends, and Shaggy is trying to hide from the cop, and he's hiding into sandcastles, and lonely Shaggy is like, oh, I gotta make some friends somehow. Let me talk to these sandcastles, which, like, my goodness, is that sad.
This is one of the few times in the movie where it feels like they actually had some creative ideas before they just went, hey, random references work.
Right. And
let's change the references because we don't care.
All right. So yeah, he's talking to these two sandcastles, Shelly and Sandy, and he then meets Scooby Doo, and
he meets a random dog.
Oh yeah, at first, exactly, a random dog, and they're sharing a sandwich. Go ahead, yeah.
It's okay. I'm gonna make comparisons, but in A Pup Named Scooby Doo, there was like a Scooby Snacks factory that had a monster in it, and there were like 50 flavors of Scooby snacks. So it's like, okay, so that's no longer canon. So
yeah, and then we see him like eating the sandwich that's filled with gummy worms, tater tots, ketchup leather, and he doesn't have no protein. But if he was like a protein, he would have liverwurst. And then of course,
well, in some, not so much in the original series, but as it went on, Casey Kasem became vegan, and I think it was either a Burger King or a KFC, or it was some kind of fast food commercial where he got ticked and he was like, Shaggy has to be vegan. That's why in I don't know if it was the live action Scooby Doo or Monsters Unleashed, he says they're cooking eggplant burgers.
All right,
However,
yeah.
However, since Casey Kasem passed away and Matthew Lillard has taken over the role, there have been some. It's now changed back to where, like, oh yeah, Scoob, I'm gonna eat some ribs at the Grim Ripper.
And yeah, I have a big nostalgia for those movies. Those ones with Matthew Lillard and Sarah Michelle Gellar. Those are big nostalgic for me. And so yeah, and then the cop returns like, "Hey, is this your dog? Yes, this is my dog. What's his name? Scooby. Middle name? Wait, no. Yeah, Scooby Dooby Doo. Yeah. Middle name Doo. Last name Doo. Well, if this dog has a middle name, I guess it's definitely tipping yours. So you have a good day, sir. But Johnny, what do you think about this entire opening scene here?
I have a few thoughts here. Like I said, I love the song. I think it's meta that.
Show me the.
See, here's the messy thing about this. Because this is our first movie that we've done in the 2020s. Not quite what I expected for the year. I really thought the Andy Samberg Groundhog's Day one, Palm Springs, would be better, but here we are.
Oh, that one.
Anyways, I thought it's interesting because of that now we get to listen to movies where podcasts exist in the universe of this movie, and now we're reviewing it on a podcast.
Right.
It's like very meta. And then
but we weren't in this movie, so this podcast is automatically better.
This movie would listen to this podcast now because, yeah, maybe. And then I think it's interesting that
Scooby, they're mocking my voice.
Yeah, but I think when I first saw that, wait, let me finish
for a second. Oh,
wait a
Can
second.
I be mildly explicit for a second? Was it just me, or did Will Forte's Shaggy voice sound like he was going through puberty?
Only because we're not.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Go ahead.
I apologize.
When I first thought about all this, I was like, oh, this is supposed to be an origin story. Because that's initially what the first 30, maybe not 30 minutes, maybe 15 minutes of an origin story. I generally think there's a world where the whole thing could have just been that. Maybe.
The only parts where they remember the lore.
Yeah, it might have been interesting if it had just been that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was like a nice, like, cute way to started, because I first thought this was gonna be like an origin movie, like how like the whole gang formed. And I guess it was that for like the first like 10-ish minutes. But I think like seeing the bond of like a very lonely Shaggy and then meeting Scooby Doo and their whole bond, I think it's like a very charming way to start the movie. And yeah, it may not be like so well put together, but I feel like it definitely a cute way to start it. And also, of course, after seeing that, also I just love the mom here, because once he takes Scooby Doo home, mom's like, okay, yeah, we have a dog, that's perfect, fine. Like, not phased how your son has a dog out of nowhere now. No, that's not. And also, I just love how the established how
I got one of my cats.
That's right, yeah. And also, I just love how we see like the birth of
Oh, one more thing I wanted to say. Given that it's rolled across the beach sidewalk, it's probably not healthy for Shaggy to eat that gyro meat.
Yeah,
it's got to be very dirty and.
Oh, yeah,
Shaggy eats dog food. Okay, so.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Like, yeah, he's like, oh wow, what is this? Peppercorn? Sand. That's really good.
Yeah,
I thought that was fun.
Sand might be the healthiest thing Shaggy's ever eaten, probably.
Totally, definitely, yeah.
Yeah,
I think he like had a pizza once that had like ice cream and sardines on it or something.
That's such a Scooby Doo meal for sure. And of course, we're seeing Shaggy and Scooby, come into Shaggy's room and introduce, the blue Falcon action figure, half man, half Falcon. Well, mostly Falcon. And
Mostly
then
human. He doesn't fly, I don't think.
yeah, and also we see, I guess he just had this, the birth of the collar that he has, which was confusing to me. Like, did you just already have this, or did you have like a previous dog that started with the initials, SB or SB?
SD.
SD, yeah, thank you. SD. So like, it was kind of confusing how he just like magically has this necklace. But what do you think about that, Johnny?
I think no. He explains that he went and bought it, so I think
Oh,
he
okay.
just went and bought like a custom one or something that had another SD thing for it. Yeah.
Or maybe he
No.
stole it. I don't know.
Maybe. Yes, and then we cut to, I guess, a few months later at them at Halloween.
Wait. I don't. Does this movie start? I think this movie is supposed to start at towards the end of summer, and then
Yeah,
I guess it would get into fall, so where we get to Halloween.
But it's Los Angeles. It's almost always summer.
right.
No, it can
Again,
get cold
why
in
is it
LA
set in Los
sometimes. You notice it once you get to about November and December.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, then we get to meet, I think, two different bullies who are just picking with Shaggy and Scooby because they're a bunch of dickheads.
Just random bullies that appear for no reason. Just random
Right.
bullies. It'd be funny if one of them was red herring.
A little pre-Ben Marshall.
Yeah.
But yeah, we see a tiny Fred, tiny Velma, and tiny Daphne. Fred, they're all in, for Halloween. Fred is as a knight. Daphne's Wonder Woman. And what is Velma? Judge Judy? No. Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in
Oh
peace.
man,
And I think
Didn't
I
she
think,
pass
like,
away
Kate could have been
this
there.
year? Didn't she pass away the year that it came out, or was it before?
yeah, it was 2020. Yeah, I think like after a few months after this movie came out. Yeah, in October, I believe. So around this time.
And then they
Yeah.
asked, like, what Harry Potter house are you, or something. So it's so this origin story.
Yeah, like, what house is this? Hufflepuff?
It's like the same year.
Yeah, she asked like, "What house is this in?" Hufflepuff, and of course he asked like, "Are you Judge Judy?" No, I'm Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Oh, Slytherin. Which, like, what? I don't even know what that means.
Okay, another thing is that, again, just try about how this show or about how this movie doesn't like. It's kind of dumb to set the origin nowadays, because there was a show called The 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo where President Ronald Reagan asked Scooby Doo to unretire and rejoin back up with the Mystery Gang. So in the future, it's the 80s. Are they going backwards in time? It's like, it doesn't make sense, in my opinion. And it's like, why didn't you just set the prequel? Why didn't you just set in the 60s?
I get that, yeah. Yeah, I guess that is fair, especially since I know, like, in multiple versions they already like meet up as teenagers, but in this version they're meeting up as kids. So that is confusing. Like, where like part are we in here? I guess they are time traveling, as you said, Justin. But
and
yes.
then Velma, that's a whole nother. That's 3 episodes.
Yeah, and then we see them go into a haunted house, and a whole bunch of stuff happens here. And what did you think about the haunted house scene here, Johnny?
I thought it was fun because they basically just did a regular episode of Scooby Doo in like 10 minutes. I knew it was very predictable. I would say I knew this was an actual like scary thing. It was just a person with technology.
Darn you, Warner Brothers.
That's how it always goes. And
that's how current Warner Brothers goes.
Yeah, that's how it pretty much always goes, where it's a thing and then it's not a person and then it becomes the thing and then they get the thing. And stealing TVs was a very modern type of crime. Sometimes it's a little sillier than this.
And that right there officially confirms that we are in the modern era, I guess.
Yeah.
Or like 2012 or something,
Didn't
that makes sense that way.
2020?
It's set in 2020 in the present, but this was in the past, remember?
Yeah, so this like 20.
But he's still referencing like Harry Potter houses. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
I think Ruth Bader was around 2012.
Yeah. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was the Supreme Justice for over 20 years, and then also the books had been written. So
right.
Okay.
And then during the scene, we see them revealed, the classic of like, oh, who's this guy? And I forget the name of the dude. Do you remember, Justin? Like who they reveal?
I don't remember it, but I will say this is I think it's the only time where where Daphne trips in this entire movie. Spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
Which was something she did a lot in the original series, and I think it's the only time that Velma says "jinkies."
I think so. Yeah, yeah. And then of course then after that they like capture whoever's haunting the house, and they're like, oh wow, we should do this. We should do this, and that's like a hobby. And of course we see the What You Scooby Doo movie, and we see like a
Okay,
montage.
they screw this up. They screw this up in two main ways. They try to I guess they try to modernize it or something, but it's like, if you're playing the original song, why do you need to change the intro? Like, you know the part where Scooby and Shaggy were on roller skates and they were slipping?
Yeah.
In the original version, that was just Shaggy. And then the part where they're both running in a barrel and then they look up and then they see this robot.
Mm-hmm.
That was originally just Scooby.
Ooh, interesting. I think for movies like this, you can't always get every single detail right because it's.
But they got everything else right. They got everything else right. Right. Why did they change it? It would be it wouldn't make any sense. It would be okay, I don't know. It would be if you, I don't know, I can't think of one, but it would be if you had a 80s SNL's, it would be if you had an Ed Grimley intro, and then you included Kristen Wiig and Kate McKinnon for a few seconds.
Well, I think that's what you're saying, trying to modernize it. That's probably why they did that.
Yeah, but it's why modernize it? If you're playing the original song, why do you need to modernize it? And why only change those two scenes?
I guess just to make it different, because I guess they don't love the old thing, maybe. Or just try to change up a tiny bit because the same old thing gets repetitive.
They already changed up a bunch of stuff already.
Well, what do you think of the situation, Johnny?
This entire movie changes things up and it's confusing.
Right, what do you think, Johnny?
I don't think the changes are that bad,
Yeah. And so, yeah, we see them now as grown adults. And I also love during the sequence we see, Fred just, so in love with the van, just kind of get I love you, making a heart.
Okay. Wait, can I... It's not set in 2012. It's set after that because they're singing Shallow.
Oh, that's right,
yeah. Star is Born. And, look, you might like Will Forte as a singer, but Will Forte as Shaggy as a singer is not good. I'm shallow.
He's trying, and yeah, we're saying, they're now teenagers here, and they're talking at a restaurant, and then they have Simon Cowell to, I guess,
why do they have Simon Cowell?
I guess because it's supposed to be that random celebrity. I think a lot of different movies have, where it's oh hey, I remember I saw a movie. I want to say Austin Powers, where randomly Willie Nelson is in that. And probably some other, That's My Boy with Amazon and Andy Samberg, where Vanilla Ice is randomly in that. So these kind of
oh yeah, Ice. I remember him in that.
Yeah, so I think it's just kind of
McEnroe was in Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, I think it's just that random celebrity that's in there just for random silliness.
But here's the thing: why did they need Simon Cowell? He's I might be wrong, but I think he just manages bands. Why are they hiring him to be in charge of their mystery group?
I think just he's a popular figure, and I guess he was also available for this movie, so.
And some people have said he looks pretty much the same as he did in the Shrek 2 bonus features.
I didn't know he was in Shrek 2. Wow, look at that.
Or no, he's not in Shrek 2, but on the DVD.
Oh, the DVD?
Maybe also the Blu-ray. They have a Far, Far Away Eoki or something. And he's in that, so this movie is simultaneously current, but at the same time 10 years behind, because it's wait, you're now trying to do a Simon Cowell reference? And it's I would have picked, like, I don't know, Richard Branson or Ashton Kutcher, um, or even Jack Dorsey or something, or someone who's the guy who's in charge of Netflix, or I don't know. Okay, this is
Yeah.
mildly spoiling it, but it's clear Warner Brothers wanted to make a universe of Hanna-Barbera movies. So why didn't they just use Richie Rich?
Mm. I have no idea. But like, John, what do you think about this scene here with the gang being Simon Cowell?
It's interesting. I think it was just meant to be like a silly little talent manager thing.
Right.
I
Yeah.
will say I've never really liked Simon Cowell. He seemed like the mean one. I did totally think he was going to screw them over in this. I thought he was going to give them a 360 deal, sort of a Rob Lowe in Wayne's World situation, but it turned out to be a lot more complicated than that, I will say.
Also, I just love this is typical like Shaggy and Scooby here. Just like, oh wow, we just want to eat right now. This is great, and of course they're talking about like, hey, like you guys are buffoons. Like you can't, we're trying to talk business here, and all you're doing is care about lunch. So yeah, they bounce, and we then see them at a bowling alley, and there's bowling.
Which I don't know. I don't know if it was intentional or if it was just a coincidence, but the original version of the show originally just focused on Fred, Velma, and Daphne, but they then started. But then they did it, and they found out that the show was kind of a little too serious and a little too scary. So that's why you see a lot of the times them focusing on Scooby and Shaggy, because they were the comedic relief. So Simon Cowell is telling them that the comic reliefs are useless in this thing, and so Fred, Velma, and Daphne aren't even like, no, we stand with our friends. They don't even say anything. Right. So we're supposed to like these people now?
I think it's supposed to be supportive, especially since, again, we're like, hey, no, we are all a gang. We can't do it without Shaggy and Scoob. So I think they are kind of a little bit
supportive. Scooby gang, aren't they?
Yeah, there's a Scooby gang.
No, Mystery Inc. I'm thinking of.
Oh, yeah. Mystery Inc. Yep. Yeah, we see them bowling, continuing making a bunch of other weird food, dumping as much mustard, I think mustard and ketchup onto some fries, and they're playing bowling, and Shaggy tries to get a strike, but only misses one. But he's like, oh well. But then we see, what is this? This pin is a monster, not a ghost, but a monster. And it's
ghost.
Ghost. And they're really ready to attack. And I also love that's an entire sequence of like these little pins trying to attack Shaggy and Scooby. There's this manager who does not care at all. It's like, it's just another day here. I think it's funny.
I wonder if they intended for those pins to be toys that they could sell.
I do think that is what they did. I thought of that the entire time.
That they were things.
Yeah, they thought this movie would be more popular, but then because it was set in 2020 and also kind of a little under the radar, even if it wasn't set in 2020, they can't sell what they thought. Like I feel like it's even possible that there's somewhere a warehouse that they have since emptied out where they had 60,000 of these toys of the little robot ones that they never actually got.
Also the Minion ripoffs that we'll get to.
Yeah, they never got to actually do anything with those, but they had plans to.
By the way, put a pin in the later creatures, because I have something to say about that as well. It's one of my main soapboxes.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I feel like if this again was a both popular movie and maybe movie set in like the early 2000s, that maybe it was in addition to the Matthew Lillard, Sarah Michelle Gellar ones, they probably would have made those a toy, because I feel like those were the prime eras of like having an animated movie and also having a toy, like a McDonald's like toy that you was gonna have.
I don't know about that. I feel like, well, because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, I know that in their latest trilogy, they were able to squeeze out quite a few toys from those, and that was set 2015, 2017, 2019. I don't think that ever went away. I think people were still always selling toys from IPs that they created.
Look at the Minions.
Yeah, look at the Minions. Look at all the BB-8 toys. Look at all the Pogs. Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to Rowan's last like real big movie that had that at least in a Happy Meal or just like in general because
Man,
it's been a while.
This year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
and so
probably
yeah,
was Disney related.
you also like how they're trying to convince the like little pin creatures of like, oh, we're gonna take your order, and they're like, they buy it for like a few seconds, but like, no, we're still gonna attack you, and then
that is something that is true to the original series where they would like dress in costume and then they'd be like, "Hey,
yeah,
take your order."
it's very like when we're trying to hire someone, but then like they hide, and they're like, oh, where are this person? Oh, I guess we don't see them. Let's just get out of here. And they're like, yes, we got them, and they move away. And so then we see like a big purple bluish light that sucks up Shaggy and Scoob almost
The aliens are landing.
Yes it's now ET.
Wait, can I do one more reference?
Go right ahead.
The Claw. I know, wrong franchise.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, it's a very different one, but I know your main Toy Story.
Let's mix them all up, Yes, and then that's where we meet some other big figures here of Shaggy and Scooby are now into some sort of place, some sort of, I won't even say layer, I'm not even sure what the word for this is, but yeah, we're seeing Dee Dee Skies,
like
pilot.
Spaceship? Dee Dee Sykes.
Oh, right, Dee Dee Sykes. Thing.
I think her name is Dee Dee Sykes.
No, you're right. Yeah, Dee Dee Sykes. Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Dee Dee Sykes doesn't make any sense because Dee Dee Sykes is from another Hanna-Barbera show that isn't Blue Falcon.
Oh, I did not know that. Oh wow.
So you're saying that they're trying to pull in 3 different Hanna-Barbera universes together in this one movie?
No, 4.
It's at least 4? Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're trying to bring in Scooby Doo, Wacky Races, Captain Caveman, and Blue Falcon and Dynamite.
Oh, wow. I think they had too many ideas, and they said, let's put them all into this movie. That's what it was.
I think they were trying to build something bigger.
Universe movie had too many ideas.
I think they were trying to build something a little bigger.
No, you're good.
Basically, it showed that they didn't learn any lessons from when they tried the DC cinematic universe, where their second movie was Batman v Superman, where they crammed in Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Doomsday, Luther, and all of this other stuff. They tried to cram it all into one movie because they wanted to do catch up for the Avengers. And now with this first movie for this new universe, they're again cramming in too many features, or they're trying to cram in too much world building.
Yeah, and I do agree with you. There's a lot ideas. I feel we also kind of talked about this when we did Meatballs, where they had so many different ideas and kind of clammed it on into one. And I feel at least with Meatballs, they did a good job with it. But this is so clustered, it's all over the place where it becomes very messy.
But at least with Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs, it was its own thing. It
wasn't. We're talking about Bill Murray's Meatballs.
Bill Murray Meatballs.
Oh, Meatballs. Sorry.
No worries. But yeah, so we see Dee Dee introducing to Shaggy and Scooby of what this place is, and I also love the introduction to the Blue Falcon, where they have this big
Brian Falcon.
Yes, Brian Falcon. Yes, excuse me, Brian Falcon. Or just seeing this big, patriotic, way of he's introducing himself with including a bunch of pictures of the Falcon as well as with shades on here because this is the dopest Falcon of all time, and we're seeing Brian Falcon, and you're like, hey, are you the Blue Falcon? No, is what son or
son, I think.
Yeah, my dad's now retired and now I'm taking over, and he is not great at his job at all. But what did you think about this sequence here, Johnny?
I thought it was a little silly. We definitely thought he was gonna have a little bit more of a role in this, but no, he's kind of a fake. Yeah, he's
Brian
kind
Falcon
of a fake. Good
size role in this.
He does have a role.
Red, Velma, and Daphne, in my opinion.
Right, but yeah, he's a little bit of a fake thing. He's not really that heroic. He doesn't get to do as much as fun. I thought his intro was way too much. I'm like, this is kind of silly for someone trying to be heroic. You should be a little more humble than this. Also, I think we might have skipped over this. When they were getting captured, or when they were fighting the robots, and they had the police code for everything, I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh,
The very specific ones.
yeah. But you also meet the dog who what
Dynamite.
Dynamite, the Dynamite thing, which I think is very very charming name. And I love.
Which,
He's like, oh, go ahead.
which again, it's like, okay, this doesn't make any sense either because Dynamite and Blue Falcon, their personalities were switched for this movie.
Okay.
Dynamite is the one who kind of talks like this, Blue Falcon. I love you, BF. I understand, Blue Falcon. Like, in the TV show, Blue Falcon kind of spoke kind of like a cartoon Superman or Batman. But in this, he's like, hey, what's up? Ain't that cool, bro? And then you have Ken Jeong, who I do like that he's kind of playing it straight, you know, as opposed to his more over-the-top roles.
Yeah.
But it's like, he should have, the way he's talking, he should have been Blue Falcon, and maybe Mark Wahlberg should have been Dynamite. And again, why are you making it so it's Blue Falcon's son? And then it's like, because Warner Brothers kind of made this mistake with Batman v Superman, where they had Luthor Jr., where he was like, hello, I'm Luthor Jr. I have a full head of hair. I love bringing people together. And it's like, it didn't work for that. Why are you redoing it? Did you really need to get Mark Wahlberg in this movie? And he was like, no, I gotta play Blue Falcon, bro.
Also, I should want to mention that this is apparently, according to Wikipedia, Mark Wahlberg's first ever animated movie, which I think is very interesting.
Wow. I didn't
Yeah.
He can do animated. I just don't. He didn't work for this role.
Okay.
He
But
would have
after
been
that,
better as Shaggy.
oh yeah, I think I agree with that. But yeah, after that we see the big villain saying like, hey, you know, hey little tiny pins, which of course is now these like little robots who seem so adorable, but you know, still kind of evil. Just saying like, hey, we need to get this guy because I forget exactly what the reason. Do you remember, Justin? All right, do you remember the reason they were targeting Shaggy and Scooby? Because I don't remember.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, tell us.
The reason why is because Scooby is like the descendant of some great dog
of Alexander the Great's
or something
dog,
of like
the underworld.
Yeah. So Dastardly needed his paw to like open a portal to get Muttley back.
Yeah, so yeah, we see like him talking to the little pins, and we go back to the other gang saying, hey, we're about to attack this guy, and there's like a sequence while Brian, Shaggy, and Scooby are just like talking, and I love how they're just chill throughout it, like not even worried about anything until like they eventually are. I like the one shot of where we see like the villain flying because he's like this way, and we see the little creatures like falling down. I thought that was very cute, and like this is like an overall decent looking fight scene we have here, and so like not much to really say about it, but like anything for you, Johnny?
Is that the one that's at the amusement park and they're hiding on the Ferris wheel? Or is
I know that's a little bit later.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what was it, Johnny?
I think this was a fun fight. I think was this when their faces got absolutely whiplash really bad?
Yeah, yes.
I thought that was funny. I think it's kind of getting a little bit at what Justin is mentioned the whole movie. They said this is how the executives think Shaggy talks.
Yeah.
Did they say that? Yeah. I thought it was kind of funny that they would mention it. Almost feels like they were fucking with us.
What a middle-aged man thinks a hippie talks.
Yeah. I kind of feel like because they put that line in there, I think they were kind of screwing with us, knowing that this movie was going to be this and knowing it was just an IP nostalgia grab.
I have an idea that maybe they wrote the original script and then storyboarded it, and they were like, oh, dang. Okay, we need some celebrity voices because no one is going to see this movie.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's very possible they did this like we can catch a few. It's almost like when you do a B movie, when you're trying to catch a little bit more flies a certain way, but you're not actually trying to do nothing. I think this might have been the intention with this. And some people put more effort into those type of movies and some people don't.
And also we have to remember that like, this came out in 2020. Like at this point, it's like who's caring about what Scooby Doo is doing right now? So
well, a lot of people are, obviously. That's why they made it, because they thought they could get a money grab.
There were TV shows going on around this time, and there were a bunch of direct-to-video movies. I think the Blu-ray for Scooby Doo, Where Are You, had come out at this time, and the live-action Scooby Doos had come out on Blu-ray, and I mean, Scooby Doo was well known.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a money grab for nostalgia and IP. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, and I think I only said it because like COVID, everyone's depressed. Like they're thinking about not what.
But think about this, Victor. They probably made this movie in 2018 and 19, not knowing that was going to
happen. Right. Or maybe I was saying by the time like trailer stuff came out for it, I'd be like, eh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What were you saying?
I think the only trailer I remember is when they keep saying, or is when Dastardly kept saying, Dick, Dick. Which I think I heard. I don't know if this. Maybe I just fantasized it. But I remember that there's like some story about how some kids were screaming that in a parking lot, shopping mall or something, where it's like, way to go, Warner Brothers.
Well, I'd not hear about that. Interesting. All right. So yeah, then after that we see the gang wearing where's Shaggy and Scoob? They meet the bowling owner, just like, oh yeah, this happened, but it's like whatever. And so we see them go back into their van, and they're talking, and Velma's trying to create the mystery Inc. and they're just trying to and Velma's making some sort of device that I guess really figure out the stuff. And I believe this is a scene that you wanted to talk about, Justin, where I want to say she spoke Spanish for a few seconds. So
yeah, okay. I'm gonna try to be as try to say it in the best way possible, but okay, I know Gina Rodriguez is Hispanic, right?
Yeah,
right.
If you want to make Velma bilingual or multilingual, that's fine. But why are you only having her speak Spanish in one scene? And for dumb people like me, why is it not subtitled?
That's kind of a good question. I think just because I guess not every single Hispanic person is gonna speak Spanish all the time, I guess. And
I'm not saying all the time, but she only does it in one scene.
I think for that context, maybe just to show how smart she is, and I.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, but that's actually a very good question, there. But
in the original series, it said that she could read Chinese. So, okay, fine, she's multilingual, but again, it just kind of comes out of nowhere, and it's like, why?
What do you think about it, Johnny?
I thought it was fine. Was this the point before or after he ripped one of the bots' heads off and put a vacuum on it?
I think that's the very next scene afterward. But
okay, we'll get into that later. But
was this around the part where Fred is talking about Netflix?
This is the part, yep, where he's just talking.
Okay,
yeah.
But it's referencing Netflix. Okay.
Well, we're in the modern era.
Again, proof that it didn't happen in 2012 or so.
Well, I'll talk about
it's supposed to be set in 2020. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll talk about them nowadays in this context. It's supposed to be set in modern day where they're teenagers. That was just them as kids.
No, it would be set probably 10 years in the future. Then it would be set in 2030. Then, because.
Oh, yeah.
Wait. My head's gonna explode if I try to figure out the timeline.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so we see the villain what's this guy's name? I won't keep saying the villain.
Dick Dastardly.
Dastardly dude.
Yeah, we see Dastardly
from Wacky Races.
Oh, okay. So we see Dastardly just going off on one of the little robots, and as you say, he rips off his he ripped off his head. But that would just give me a big laugh, like, oh wow, violence.
Another Toy
Yeah,
Story
I
reference.
thought personally that the other robots did not react appropriately to this. They just killed one of your own brutally right in front of you, and you're just like, they're still smiling and laughing.
Well, Dick Dastardly is kind of like Gru for Hanna-Barbera, so they're probably used to it.
Yeah, so we see them back at the lair, and we see some very interesting foods here, including like an ice cream sundae topped with a jalapeno, which I think was very, very funny and very disgusting.
That would actually be good. It would help with the spiciness of jalapenos if you can't handle extreme spiciness.
Yeah, just devour a nice ice cream sundae, and then you're all good. And so they're just like talking about Dastardly and just like everything we need to get done, and but then we also come back to Velma and Fred and Daphne just like talking, and like I think both of you guys mentioned, like the way they like had Fred here is just like so weird because it's like not how Fred is at all in any other movie, like not even in the live action one that we talked about with like Fred Prinze Jr., Matthew Lillard, and Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I barely remember Fred and Daphne because they have, I would say they have probably the least amount of things to do. I'm like, why did you even hire Zac Efron and Amanda Seyfried? Like, Amanda Seyfried, she has like, what, 15 lines in this entire movie?
Yeah, that definitely think like Daphne says the least out of all of them, which is
I think Muttley has more dialogue.
Yes, exactly. And it is very strange, but like, what do you think about that, Johnny?
I think this was for Daphne, this was sort of a use of quality, not quantity, because I liked how sweet and warm she was, even though she didn't get that much.
But Daphne was usually always sweet and warm.
Yeah,
right.
There was two TV shows where she was like the where she was essentially like the leader of the group.
Okay, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Scooby and Shaggy were the damsels and morons that needed her help. And also in the 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo, again, Daphne is kind of like a take charge person as well.
Okay.
Right. And then afterwards, we see them now land in a new area where they're now about to just.
Are they at the amusement park?
Oh no, this is where they're at some sort of like dead land, and they're about to, I think, find Dastardly or trying to get something done.
There was a fight. I think there was a fight there, and I think I might be skipping ahead, but
this is the carnival scene you're talking about.
Isn't this the part where Shaggy and Brian Falcon were hiding in a Ferris wheel?
Yeah, because it's the Ferris wheel scene, like we're at the carnival, and we see the return of another just random stuff that's happening, and just a lot's happening. And again, if you want to elaborate more, Justin, go ahead on the scene because I don't really have a lot to say here.
I don't remember much of this scene. Honestly, the movie kept annoying me because every time Will Forte talked, it took me out of the movie.
All right, John, what about yourself? What did you think of here?
Like you, not too much to say here, but I will say I've seen this trope a lot of times. Anytime there is a Ferris wheel in an animated show or movie, it's going to fall off of the frame and start rolling away.
Yes,
I've seen that quite a few. Yeah.
Didn't it happen in like was it the SpongeBob movie or the Despicable Me movie where that
probably did? I remember it happening in my life as a teenage robot. It happens all the time. Yeah.
And I think one of the Despicable Me movies also had that happen. I'm not entirely sure. I want to say.
Yeah, it never fails. It's always because you can't do that in live action. It would be too expensive or a bunch of CGI. But in an animated thing, it's always
Dead Man's Chest.
Right.
It's always going to fall off the frame. Yeah.
Yes.
But,
so
one thing, I don't know if it was like it was. It was just something I remembered. Shaggy said something like "Do the bird," and he was like, "Whoa, family movie or something?" Or family show?
Yeah.
And it's like, so is this a movie? So are they aware they're in a movie then?
No, I think just like, hey, like just keep it clean, like a work environment. That's why.
It's again like, was that an attempt at a fourth wall break? Hanna-Barbera did that, but it hasn't been done before in the movie. It's like
Yeah.
maybe it would have been better if he had like turned to the camera and said, "Hey, whoa, there's kids watching this."
Yeah, I'll agree. That would have been funnier. And we're seeing Dashley just attack Shaggy and Scooby here, and I also like this very weird mirror scene where like they're different colors, like Shaggy's green and Dashley's blue, and then suddenly Dashley's red and Shaggy's blue, and just a whole bunch of different colors. And where he's like kind of taunting him, like, "Hey, join me, Scooby Doo. I can be your leader. You'll be my leader," or something like that. And of course, Scooby ain't having it at all. He's like, "Nope, get me out of here right now. Like, I'm not doing this," which I did think was very fun. And then afterwards, we see Brian and Shaggy, just like hiding. And then, this is where we see like in the roller coaster, or the Ferris wheel, the Ferris wheel just going rolling.
Hey, I'm a coaster enthusiast. That looked like a Ferris wheel to me.
Oh yeah, no, it was Ferris wheel. I got it wrong for a second, but yeah. And just like other craziness happening here. And then the very next scene is.
Can I, as a theme park person, can I say one Ferris wheel thing?
Sure thing.
There's a Ferris wheel that I rode last year. It's in Tokyo Dome City. It's like maybe 15 miles or so from Tokyo. If you love Ferris wheels, you're gonna love it. But if you hate Ferris wheels, what's cool is that they have karaoke on the Ferris wheel for free. So you can sing karaoke song. So you can sing a karaoke song while you're on it, and they have English subtitles and English songs as well. So I think I did Piano Man. I think, yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, we see them back, and they're talking about how Scooby is like having the DNA to really be the leader. So like they transform into superhero, but unfortunately he has to take off the famous collar, and which is very.
And this is the point where I'm like, why are you trying to split them up? You've already split Scooby and Shaggy off from the other three, and now you're trying to split Scooby and Shaggy up. I know why, but I don't know if it's like, was it warranted? Was it needed? They needed jealousy between the two now.
I think really just to extend the plot, but I definitely agree with you. What did you think about this scene here, Johnny?
I thought it was I think this was where it started to get a little attempted at sentimental, because now it's really starting to drive home that Shaggy, who we already know from the origin part of this movie, was very lonely. Now it's starting to get back into that, because he's like, oh, now he's lonely and useless and losing his best friend.
Yeah, and then we see like the rest of the gang trying to, of course, continue to find Shaggy and Scooby. Then Dashley is randomly dressed up as a female cop to, seduce Fred, which works.
Oh yeah,
which made me think.
This is where Christine Hendricks is.
Oh, okay, yeah. What did you say, Johnny?
It made me think of when they saw her in Night at the Roxbury. When they saw the Jennifer Coolidge cop.
Right. So yeah, but then of course he reveals, "I'm Dashley." Like, wow, did a really good job. And of course, again we see like some tension between and Shaggy and Scooby, where Shaggy is very clearly jealous. He's saying muttering things underneath his breath, and clearly there's tension here. And also during that scene, they get locked up because I guess something happened. I forget why they were in jail here. But we see
Scooby and Shaggy or the other three.
Oh no, definitely Velma and Fred.
Okay.
They're in, yeah. And
Also, it would have been fun if after they got caught, if Velma was like, "I could have told you that was the guy in a costume."
Yes, that was funny. But yeah, then they meet one of the little robots who looks like a vacuum cleaner, like a human, or not human, like a robot vacuum cleaner that's coming to life. And he's like very sweet and just like, "Hey, like, you want to come out? Come on out." And like, "Oh wow, that was that easy? Wow, look at that."
Is this where I get to get on my soapbox?
Sure.
Okay. Was it just me, or were these creatures also made, or that creature also made just to sell toys?
Yep, just to sell toys, yeah.
Because here's my problem. There's what some would consider a dark era of Scooby Doo that again kind of involved. It had more to do with ratings than anything, and that's the appearance of Scrappy Doo. Scrappy Doo was not adding Scrappy did not lower the ratings. The series was getting low ratings, so they added a character, and that drove up ratings.
Right.
So a lot of Scooby Doo fans, they hate Scrappy, but I don't think they understand that if Scrappy wasn't added, I don't even know if this movie would have gotten made. It would probably have gone. It would have been about as memorable, or it would have probably stopped like the quick. It would have been like Quick Draw McGraw or something.
Interesting. I've looked at the very interesting detail there.
So people really hated that they added Scrappy, which kind of turned the show into a kid show, even though it always aired on Saturday mornings. But now you're adding in like new kids mascots, and there are some people that hate Scrappy that for some reason are fine with adding kids characters or kids plush or these kids things into this movie. So it's like, okay, you just don't care. You're just not consistent.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that, but yeah. So yeah. Because I also know like there's like one anime movie, not anime movie. I think like special that I saw a couple years back with just Shaggy, Scooby, and Scruffy, where they like
there were 3
Ghost.
They were like TV movies.
It was like an animated anime, like
they were animated movies. There was Boo Blasters.
It was an anime.
And Reluctant Werewolf.
Yeah, so then they are now in like a little area where they're trying to get in contact, where they finally get talk with Scooby, and Velma, talks with them via Mutt. We're like, hey, we need your attention, and he's like, hey, what is going on? Why are it affecting me? It's like very very cartoonish, glitches that's going on because of this, which I did find amusing, and so that's pretty much of that scene. What do you think about that, Johnny? Of this scene?
Which scene was it again? What happened?
Where
Velma is talking to Dino Mutt.
Oh, right. Yeah, I thought there should have been more here. I think, given how smart Velma is, her and Dee Dee Sykes and Dino Mutt should have had a little bit more here, because obviously these are the smart ones of the movie. Obviously, there's a bit of potential for friendship and maybe even more with Velma. And it's like, come on, why didn't they play into that a little harder?
Because they were more focused on other series than a story.
Right.
Bingo.
Can I do a minor spoiler? It doesn't really spoil anything, really, but it's something that if you like this movie, this might be the thing that makes you no longer like it.
Go ahead.
Why did they make a Scooby Doo movie without a mystery?
And that actually is a good question. I feel like this was supposed to be like a new version of it, because like I guess like how many different type of like mysteries they can do. There's tons more that they probably could have done, but like I guess this one we wanted to again try to like bring it into like the modernization, which is exactly why we have like a robot dog, and again incorporating this other
robot dog
or Mutt. I'm not good at names.
Dynamite.
Dynamite. Yes.
This was like doing a crossover, and
just like change up the format a bit. I think. Yeah, I think that's why where they had like they try to change up the format a bit, which I think is supposed to be like their like twist and spin on it. But like they're just talking, they're discovering Dino Mutt and Dastardly, and he shares his story, like how he has this big ginormous dog that he was about to enter. Yeah, Muttley, and where he was.
By the way, Muttley is usually like way shorter than he is in this movie. Also, Dastardly looks nothing like he did in the in Wacky Races or even later Hanna-Barbera stuff. So it's just name recognition. And I'm like, Dastardly is kind of like the most famous villain. Why are you using Dastardly for your first movie?
Interesting. But I do want to go to John here. What do you think about this scene here of Dastardly and seeing his own story of like how and why he's like this?
I thought it was an interesting thing. It did make him more of a jerk because he's literally shooing his dog into the portal. It made him a little more evil, I guess. it kind of also pulled away from the thought that he did have a loving relationship with his dog. It didn't feel as believable after this.
Well, he and Mudley were kind of more. It was less. They were friends, more like they were just stuck with each other.
Right, yeah, and that's why, because like it was always like joking, but like now, yeah, like lost a dog, and that's why he's like, again, the way that he is, and it's supposed to be like your way of trying to feel bad for Destiny each time, but you're just like, nah, you're so evil, man. And so afterwards, again, we return and just showing off like new suits that Scooby and Brian have, and get into like another chase scene where they're entering some sort of like cave, I think, where we're also like a magical like island with like a purple light, like also beautiful. And this is where we also meet, I feel, the best part of this movie, Tracy as the troll here. What do you think about Tracy as the troll?
He's not a troll, he's Captain Caveman.
Yes, Captain Caveman.
Yeah. Captain Caveman.
I personally thought this was a completely out of nowhere. I did not expect to see. Is this Tracy Morgan's first appearance on this podcast? I think it might be. Was it? I don't know, but it was so out of nowhere. I was completely drawn off guard by this. It doesn't exactly.
I want to say so. Yeah, I want to say so. Yeah, this is the first time. Not the last time, of course.
No, not the last time, but yeah, I was completely caught off guard. It doesn't exactly fit, but it's kind of funny, him doing this. It's a little understated for usual Tracy Morgan roles, but if it's enough.
Let's be honest. A lot of the other characters don't fit in this movie.
I mean, the voice acting, not the character. The character feels on the fence if it fits. The voice acting is like it almost reminds me of when Dana Carvey did Jennifer Coolidge. It's like this here. All right, it's surprising, but it's kind of funny.
And that's my favorite thing about Tracy Morgan is you can always tell when it's him voicing.
Yes, he is the most distinctively New York accented person that's ever been on TV.
A problem that I have with it is that like he should have been a little more marble mouthed because that's how Captain Caveman is.
Okay.
Captain Caveman for the most part is like Captain Caveman.
Like that one dude from Fat Albert. Mushmouth.
Yeah, kind of.
Man. That's a movie we got in the future too.
Cosby on this podcast.
Oh right, that kind of movie.
Yeah.
If he was more mush mouthed, like, oh, I'm Captain Caveman. I'm gonna be really good, okay? By the way, don't touch on that. I'm gonna beat you up like lotion, whatever that is. Like if he had talked like that would have been a little better, but because he was like being like, hello, I'm Captain Caveman. It's like, okay, so it feels like it was a placeholder. Like they just needed some character, and I don't know why they would change Captain Caveman. You're changing Blue Falcon, you're changing Dick Dastardly, you're changing Captain Caveman. You're borderline changing the Scooby Doo gang. It's like, why is...
You gotta keep going back, modernizing it. That's the only explanation I can think of, at least. But yeah, so we finally see like at least some of the gang reunited. We see like Fred and Shaggy meet up, and hey, like what's Scooby Doo? Oh, Scooby Doo's not my friend anymore. He's now off with them. And then we see Brian and Scooby get to see Captain Caveman's cave, and I think either Scooby or Brian says something that offends Captain Caveman. Like, okay, now we have to battle. I think it goes very but especially since I love how Captain Caveman is like so positive. And then like once he says, he's like, oh nope, now I have beef with you. But what do you think about like this particular scene of them going at it here, Johnny?
I do think it was a bit of a heel turn because he absolutely beats their ass with this thing. It's also more high tech than you would expect. It seems like a club at first, but then it's a little more than that. I like that he got to kind of play with this a little more. And also the crowd of several of Captain Caveman's, I guess, species, race was kind of fun too. Yeah.
Or family.
Yeah, family. Yeah, there's clearly a lot more going on in his underworld than we know.
Yes, and
Well,
listen,
there was a show where he had a son.
the Tracy Morgan show.
No, the
No,
Captain Caveman
Captain
show, I think.
Caveman.
Oh, okay, okay.
He
Oh, good.
was
Gotcha,
part of
gotcha.
the Flintstone Kids.
Ooh, oh wow. It's been a while since I've seen Flintstones. So, but
You've never
yeah,
seen the? Are you talking about the movies or the TV show?
just like in general, like it's been a while since I've seen them.
Mm.
But I'm
Well,
familiar.
there is
Flintstones
one
live
on
action
Tubi
movie
after
might be a good one
this.
for the Patreon.
Right. Yes. Because you got
Go on Tubi.
yeah, because I got a 13-timer John Goodman
Exactly.
or 14-timer for however many times it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after that, we officially reunite the entire gang, and Fred again, since he's like such a new character here, he's like scared, and he's in Brian's arms, like, "Oh, help me, mommy!" Well, not mommy, that's inappropriate, but we see them bonding, and Scooby is like having a monologue, like, "Hey, we really have to." Help Scooby, or Shag's having a monologue, and he's like, we have to help Scooby here, and he's my friend.
Help Shag. We have to help Scooby, man.
Yeah, well, we have to do this. We really have to save my friend because if anyone can do it, it's me. And then if anyone should do it, it's me. And then we see a bunch of other people like looking back. Should have a normal day until they see this enormous vehicle here on top. Which I'm sure if this happened in real life, they'll be like, "Oh God, the world's ending already." No. And then he turns
Correct.
the entire city. Oh, I don't say it real quick. He went to the entire city, purple, kind of like this evil, place here. But go ahead, Justin. What are you about to say?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is that once they leave the island, Captain Caveman isn't in the movie anymore? So
Yep.
you could almost cut that. You could almost cut him out, and the movie would be no different.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Possibly.
Yeah, I certainly think so. So yeah, we see, now he's like, I think brought like a statue to life where it's like 3 dogs, and now he like brings them to life, and now they're about
Cerebrit, yeah. It's
Yeah.
I think it's like part of like Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Cerebus or Cerebra. That's your Odyssey reference. That's your Odyssey connection. There you go.
Yeah, and then we see them like really trying to go after this, and we also see like Daphne had to give like a monologue to someone where a bunch of TVs are on her, and they're just having the time of their lives with her, which I thought was so random. Like, oh, are you this is like the kid version of? Anyways, just trying to just have fun with her, but. Yeah, we see like Fred. I think like we see like the mystery ink van get destroyed, and Fred's having a moment like, "Oh, come on, this is my."
Yeah, he's having a very emotional time about it.
Yes.
Yeah, lately they've kind of made him like someone who's obsessed with the Mystery Machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we see
it's crazy that they survived that crash, getting spit out the ship like that.
Right. And we then go to Dastardly meeting with what's his dog name again? Muttley.
Muttley.
Yeah, Muttley, and. And there's reuniting. He's snickering like, "Oh, hey, I'm dead." No, I'm just kidding. I'm not dead. And also, I got big Ducktales vibes when I saw those giant coins near them. But what do you think about this scene with them reuniting here, Johnny?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was kind of wholesome. I wish they would have mentioned some of because I think we skipped over it a little bit. There's flaws that the gang is noticing that they have when they don't have Scooby and Shaggy. Like, oh man, yes. Scooby and Shaggy would have fell back into something and opened a bookcase store. Oh man, we would have wanted to eat if Scooby and Shaggy were
here. Did Velma mention a bookstore?
Huh?
Did Velma mention a bookstore?
I don't know if it was. I don't know, but they said that they would always fall back into something because they were so clumsy. But yeah,
it also, also, I think like the one scene they mentioned, like, "Oh, hey, we're hungry. And, hey, if Shaggy and Scooby were here, we would know when it's time to eat lunch." So yeah.
Yeah, so I'm saying I wish they would have mentioned that to them once they reconnected with them, because then it would be like, "Oh, we realize what you guys bring to the gang. It's that kind of stuff."
Did they even need to really separate Dastardly and Muttley in this movie? Couldn't they have just been like flying, like just being bad guys?
I say yes, because again, it would show at least a little bit of character and Dastardly, just like, oh, like why he's like this, and like a little bit like a reuniting to make someone, even if it's not entirely like root for him, just a tiny bit. So I say it's.
Also, you can decide if this is a nitpick or not. Dastardly was kind of like the Doofenshmirtz of Hanna-Barbera villains, where very rarely would any of his traps or things ever work. Like he was, like he, they were the comic relief kind of wacky races, and would almost always lose and like get into their own traps. They would mess themselves. So it's like you're turning like comic relief villains into like serious hardcore villains that can like make statues appear and enter through galaxies.
Actually, if he came in the 60s, technically Doofenshmirtz is the dastardly deeds of Disney.
Yeah.
Wacky Races, I think, came out in the 70s, I think.
Exactly. And Phineas and Ferb doesn't come out until the 2000s.
You think Doofenshmirtz did come out?
I'm just like trying to, if you guys haven't seen Wacky Races, and I was like trying to mention a more recent character, I was trying to reference a more recent character.
Gotcha. So yeah, we see like them, the entire gang just trying to attack these giant three dogs here. We see Fred do it, and of course he fails. Daphne tries to have a Scooby snack, but Scooby eats both of them. So they figure out a way by, I think, just like having some sort of like gadget that will kill them. I think like Dee Dee has a gadget and she like gets it done because of course Brian can't do a darn thing. And so yeah, we see another emotional moment here with like they like say, hey, Scooby has to go into I think like what's it like portal because
my god, this.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Yeah, okay, so it gets some sort of portal here to like make things better, and so like yeah, a whole lot's happening here. But like, what do you think here, Johnny?
I thought this was an interesting trope. I thought it was kind of fun, but not too much to say really.
All right, go ahead, Justin.
Just like some things that I don't remember where, but Velma says Jeepers in this movie. I don't exactly remember when. But what I find weird is that her catchphrase was Jinky, so it's like you can't even get the catchphrase right.
Oh. Yeah, that is a good point.
And then, like, another thing about, like, how you said Fred's trap failed, it's like, if you watch the original show, Fred was the one who always, like, designed the traps.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not following your original logic. You're not following like any of the TV series that I know that I can follow. I mean, when they did a pup named Scooby Doo, Velma started being the traps person. But it's like again, it's like kind of like it's odd and stuff. And I will give this movie a little credit in that there's no way this movie would be made nowadays, because something kind of annoying is that Warner Brothers, they don't want people to remember the show when they had real monsters in it. Like if you've seen Zombie Island, for example. They want it to be like the original where it was always some dude in a mask. And they did Return to Zombie Island. I don't recommend it because they completely retcon it to where the first movie didn't have zombies, and the explanation that they give is is one of the dumber ways to like try to like do a cover up to explain it. And it's like you should have just said it was all a dream. That would have been more respectful to the viewers.
Yeah, pull Madonna.
What?
Pull Madonna. It's all a dream. Horrible dream.
Madonna should have been in Return to Zombie Island to say that. That would have been better.
Right. Yeah, and then this like movie ends with we're like thinking like Scooby's gonna die here, but then we see
No, they thought that Shaggy was going to have to remain in the portal for the for the rest of
and then
eternity.
he gets to come out because of the other thing.
Where I'm just curious. Does anyone truly believe that Warner Brothers would split up Scooby and Shaggy permanently forever?
No, absolutely not.
Then what was the point of this 10-15 minute scene?
Just to create to extend the plot.
Extra tension.
Yeah.
And this is the second of 3 times that I've seen Warner Brothers do a fake out separation death scene. In Batman v Superman, they kill Superman, but then when they bury him, some specks of dirt rise up, implying that he might still be alive. And then after this, another movie I wanted to review, Space Jam: A New Legacy. I don't care if it's a spoiler because you would never fall for it. Bugs Bunny risks his life, passes away, and then specks of dust rise up, and it's like, oh yeah, you know that Looney Tunes movie where they kill Bugs Bunny? But then 5 minutes later, it's like, what? You can't kill a toon. So I don't know who at Warner Brothers keeps making this happen, but they need to stop.
Yeah, yes, that's very fair. You make some fair moments here, and not really a whole lot to say for this ending here. Just like they reunite, they hang out.
They play a song.
They play a song.
They dance. And, so it's now a DreamWorks movie.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just want to go over to Johnny real quick. Anything you have to say for this ending or no?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought it was just an okay ending. I did kind of just think he would never die in the underworld because they're already in the underworld. You can't die in the underworld,
Yeah.
Things like that.
What you think about this ending? Or you already said, right?
Oh, and I did like that Daphne was now a goddess among the minion bots.
Yeah.
She saved one. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So you want...
But but in the credits, you see tons of teases for upcoming movies that surely are going to happen, except they didn't.
Yeah. Warner Brothers cut a lot of stuff, not just from their animation department, between about 2019 and 2023. This was thrown away with several shows on HBO Max, along with the Batgirl movie, along with all these movies that were coming up. It's like, and they all did it.
I'm sorry.
And they did it all.
Sorry.
I think it was to get money back from a bankruptcy claim or something like that. Yeah.
It was to tax write it off.
Yeah, something of that sort. Something combined with those two.
Yes.
But then, and one of the things that was canceled, admittedly, I would have reviewed it or seen it probably, was there was a Scoob Holiday Haunt or something where it would have been set in this universe, but it would have just focused on the kid characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it wouldn't have had Will Forte and... Okay, one thing that I do want to say is that the problem that I have with Zac Efron playing Fred is that the guy who plays Scooby Doo also voices Fred.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's just kind of weird. It's like, I don't know if the movie necessarily needed a lot of these voice actors. And if they did, then it probably should have been, another YouTuber mentioned this, but it should have been like the SpongeBob movie or SpongeBob movies where you have your main core voice actors, and then you have other side characters as voiced by celebrities.
I mean, how old were the original celebrities at this point? Right? Any of them still alive? Or?
Well, I think Frank Welker is the only one that's still alive. Matthew Lillard is still alive.
I see what you mean now. Yeah.
Kate McCucci is still alive. It would have been fine if you had Tracy Morgan play Captain Caveman and stuff, but you didn't need other voice actors to play the Scooby Gang.
Interesting. So yeah, that's
and Gray Delisle, I believe, voices Daphne nowadays.
She's one of my favorite voice actresses.
Sorry, people were talking, but let's start that again. And so that was Scoob. Hope you guys, enjoyed this. Another long one. Hopefully this won't be...
Sorry.
No, it's fine, because we just did one where we talked about Bridesmaids with the lovely Shari, and that was also just as long. Or probably longer, we'll see. But yeah, so what we also like to do here is, after we talk about the movie, we like to talk about the movies, whoever our main lead, in this case Will Forte, did. So after this, he did a movie called Drunk Bus. which seems to be an
Drunk Bus? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
I think I might have heard a little bit about
starring yeah, then he only did one movie in 2021 called America the Motion Picture, which has a big cast consisting of Olivia Munn, Channing Tatum, Bobby Warner, Killer Mike, Simon Pegg, and Andy Samberg. Have you heard of that movie, Justin?
I have not heard of that movie. I do know of one movie he was in years later, Strays.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
I've heard a little bit about Strays.
Oh.
Yeah, let me get to that just in a few seconds. We got 3 movies before that movie. We have Studio 666, which is the Foo Fighters movie that we have here. Then after that, we have, let me see here, the Weird Al Yankees.
Or was that after this? Or was that before this movie?
Which movie?
Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping.
For Andy Samberg?
Well, yeah, yeah. I think we'll get to the movies he did before this movie in a different podcast, but let's just do it after,
we're doing Will Forte right now because obviously he's the lead here. But I think to answer your question, this is that was after he did that movie. I think that movie had a pre-SNL Chris Red in it. So
yeah,
man, that sounds great. Okay, he also did a movie I kind of liked, a little bit of a weird take on of the Little Mermaid, Ruby Gilman, Teenage Kraken.
Real quick, I just want to say one thing before the Weird Al Yankovic story. I think this is a movie we're going to do because I know our good friend Casey Killingsworth said he wanted to do this. I'm not sure how eligible it is, but we'll see. And of course, if our guest wants to do it, then we'll figure out a way maybe. Actually, Ruby Gilman, Teenage Kraken.
Yeah, he could. That's definitely one we could put on the Patreon because he is a maniac fisherman conspiracy theorist in that.
Yeah, featuring Tony Collette, Annie Murphy, someone we saw host last season, Coleman Domingo, and the one and only Jane Fonda. Then we have that from Strays.
On this. Well, yeah, Strays.
Yeah, after Strays, have you heard this movie, Justin?
Fun. Okay, on my YouTube channel, I review movies with my friend Kay. And she picked this movie because most of the movies I pick are like from either just like random like whatever movies, and she tends to pick movies from like Prime and Netflix or movies that have recently come out. So she knew nothing about this movie except that it was on Netflix. And then about 10 minutes into the movie, she was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. And I'm like, I don't either. So do you want to just give up? And she's like, yeah.
This movie has Will Ferrell, Jamie Foxx, Isla Fisher, Randall Park, and which a fun fact, I don't know if it was the first acting role, but one of his first acting roles was actually as an original cast member of Wild 'N Out, the same season where Mikey Day was casting on that show. So look at that. Yeah, and so what do you want to say about Strays, Johnny? Because I know you had something to say about it.
Nothing much to say about Strays, and then after that
I had seen that movie a few months ago. Actually, it's a pretty fun one. So yeah, after this, I thought about The Unicorn, another Netflix
you like
movie.
Strays?
Oh, yeah, my thought Strays was pretty fun.
Yeah,
especially since the Will Forte is like all dogs, but Will Forte is like the starring human in that movie. He's an absolute dick in that entire movie.
Yeah, in the movie it was like I think he was going through a breakup with his girlfriend or something, and he just took the dog out just out of spite, and he just kept leaving the dog farther and farther away from his house, and it showed a little too much Will Forte in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll leave it at that. He showed the same kind of style that he did in MacGruber, if you know what I mean.
But yeah, the only movie he did in 2024, also mentioned in 2022, Studio 66, The Weird Al Yankovic Story, then 2023, Ruby Goldman, Strays, and then the only movie he did in 2024, Down with the Unicorn, which features Brittany Howard of Alabama Shakes, as well as Edie Patterson, Fred Armisen, Zach Galifianakis, John Heder, remember that guy? And so
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, Napoleon Dynamite, of course. Then Kind of Pregnant, the Amy Schumer movie, also has Jillian Bell.
I've heard stuff about this movie. I think wasn't it produced by Happy Madison?
It surely was.
Okay.
All right. You have anything to say for that movie, Johnny?
Nothing much about that one, but he is going to be in The Breadwinner. Is that out earlier this year, or is it already in?
Already, I think.
Yeah,
it comes out When?
It
No,
already
it
came out.
already did come out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with starring, in my opinion, great host
With
Bargatze.
legendary in waiting host Nate Bargatze.
I say he's legendary. I feel like
I think he's definitely on the path to being legendary. I don't want to give it to him too early because he's only done it twice, but he's definitely on
I'm
the path.
excited for his theme park that he wants to build, Nate Land.
Just like Dolly World. Leave it
Right.
to a Tennessee legend to want to make a theme park out of it.
Yes.
Well, Nashville has no theme park, so I'm glad
It has them, but I'm saying Dolly Parton made her theme park, and it's like that's what they do when you're from Tennessee and you get famous, I guess.
Dollywood was already a theme park, but it was then renamed Dollywood, and then it expanded. It was originally called Silver Dollar City, and what else? It was like something Roads or something as well. But it was a few names before it was Dollywood. It got renamed Dollywood.
Right. And then,
and so,
Breadwinner, the other one coming out later.
Oh, well, I just want to say
that.
Breadwinner, that I just want to say as a cast Breadwinner, we have Mandy Moore, Colin Jost, Zach Cherry, Martin Hurley. It'll be great to talk about him soon because you can do Please on Shore movie now that Ben Marshall is a cast member, as well as Camille Nanjiani. And then, of course, this very soon to be upcoming Coyote.
Coming out later this month, Coyote versus Acme.
Yes, yes. Are you looking forward to that movie, Justin? Dare I ask?
And Justin, here's a question. Do you think that movie is in this universe? Because as we know, there was supposed to be Hanna-Barbera Cinematic Universe.
Well, Coyote versus Acme is Looney Tunes or Merry Melodies, so it's its own universe.
Oh.
My only hope is that it'll be... The cynical part of me wants it to be like really bad. That way a review would be really easy to do. Like for me, Space Jam 2 was very easy to like just bash. But part of me thinks it could also be kind of boring or something because most of it looks like a court procedural, or it looks kind of like Back in Action, which I'm not a big fan of. And the director said there are like R-rated bloopers. Who wants to hear who wants an R-rated version of Looney Tunes?
I feel like Twisted Mind people do. That's who. But yeah, also in this cast we have because we get to talk about John Cena again, as well as Luis Guzman again, as well as also Jim Cummings, who is from my hometown, Youngstown, Ohio. So that's very cool. And that's pretty much it. Right. Yeah, and that's pretty much all the movies. Not a whole lot, because of course he does a lot more beforehand, but I won't get into
it. We'll check those out another time.
Yeah.
He also made an appearance. I don't know if it was recent or not, but he made an appearance on a sketch show called Studio C. That was on. It was on YouTube. It was like a Family Feud.
So yeah, I know that show. Yeah, he also did like a Seinfeld theme sketch. That one.
The only one I saw was the Family Feud one that he was in.
Right.
Interesting. But yeah, this was a Scoob. Hope you guys enjoyed. I know this probably. I feel like for a lot of people that may know Justin, they're like, "Oh, really? You have Justin on?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm having Justin on because I love hearing from him. I love hearing his SNL takes, his takes about anything else in general, and I'm glad you're on this podcast. And we'll definitely have you on for a future one because I know you used to mention Mr. Good Deeds, which is a movie that you said you did like, which stars Adam Sandler. So we'll definitely have you on for.
No, it's just Mr. Deeds, not Mr. Good Deeds.
Or you mentioned Good Deeds, which stars Adam Sandler, which I know is a movie you said you did like, so we'll definitely have you on for that. Especially since we only talked about Adam Sandler once in our very first episode, so we definitely got to talk about.
We definitely have a lot of ones to get to.
Yes, but Justin, you mentioned your movie reviews. Where can people check those out, as well as any socials that you have?
My YouTube channel, I believe, is Justin Coasters. It's a picture of a cat that I just found on Google Images, which I should have used one of my real cats. I don't know why I didn't. I'm posting a lot right now, but maybe starting Friday, it'll be back to like posting like one review every Friday. It's a roll of the dice whether the audio will be in sync or not, and if I say sorry about the audio issues, then just you can play it in the background, kind of.
And just like this very podcast. But yeah, go ahead, Johnny. Tell the folks where they can find yourself.
You can usually find me right here at Oversimplified Productions on YouTube, he_gentleman on Instagram, and obviously Toxic Hoops Takes at Toxic Hoops Takes on TikTok, where I'm making a lot of fun and silly women's basketball videos and such and so forth. And like I said, you can always listen to the pod on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
I just noticed the Harley Quinn poster in the background.
Oh, yeah. That's like, I'm a real big DC fan, so yeah.
Yes. And
All right,
of course,
you tell them where they can find you, big dog.
Yes, if you want to follow me, which I feel like you should check me out on Instagram at I'm Alive. That's IMALIVE 0623, which is my birthday. You can find me there on Instagram, chatting about SNL as well as other interests of mine, like the current season of Big Brother, which has been a lot of fun talking about, as well as I'm also chatting Big Brother on my Twitter at I'm Alive 419, where I'm chatting again about Big Brother and as well as SNL, because very soon season 52 is happening, and I'm very curious to see how that season looks.
Yeah, by the time the next episode comes out, we may have some new casting news.
Right, exactly, yes.
Are there any cast members that you hope depart along with Chloe?
I don't know. I don't dislike anybody. I kind of, for the most, well, maybe Tommy Brennan, maybe. I don't think he's
not a newbie,
but I don't think I don't know if he's going to cut it, but I don't think he's off.
I will say yeah, because I feel like out of the 5 new cast members, he's given us the least to really offer. So yeah. I would say to answer that question, only for myself, I would not. Only people that have been there forever is the people I personally want to leave. If I were to say that, but no, again, I'm also I don't really care who. I mean, I do care who stays, but I don't really.
Yeah, I'm more caring about who joins.
Right, same. The new cast members are also so exciting. So yeah.
I'm kind of hoping that Veronica and your future wife, Ashley, team up a lot next year.
I feel definitely. I feel like since this season was the season of Ashley Padilla, I feel season 52 will be the season of Veronica Stolkowska.
Okay.
I'm locking that right now.
Because I'm not a big Wickline fan. Her humor is too absurd or dry, in my opinion. And also it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, tall people die. Doesn't every person of every height die? Whatever. And I also don't like that her songs don't rhyme. That's probably being very.
I think that's part of the joke, but I definitely get that.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Well,
yeah. Hopefully you enjoy this one.
There was a sketch that she and Veronica were in where it was Cousin Planet.
Yes.
That's a sketch that I do like. The song was catchy, and I think I might have said it in that one, but I also said it during the Runaway Girls on a Mechanical Bull sketch with James Austin Johnson. I was like, see, Jane, these two can rhyme while singing. Why can't you?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, hopefully everyone has a fun time singing out the outro of this podcast, because we will see you guys later. Have a great night.
Enjoy next time when there will be a way better guest.
They should let children out of school to see this movie. They should show it in school.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
I disagree. I am Iron Man.
There's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
You have to rock fun with this. Oh, no, I don't wear thongs. I have a very fussy taint.
Behave.